Hi, I'm here with this week's happiness strategy. I'll be reading aloud our weekly featured article. Every week I feature an article on empowered living on my website, and I also share my writing out on Thrive Global. I share both the article, the video, as well as some other tips and strategies out every Thursday morning to my list called M's Weekly Inspiration. And if you'd like to sign up to receive these free notes, you can do so by following the link that I'll share below this video. I'll also share the direct link to the article in case you want to have a read through later. And I did write this article a couple of years ago, but it definitely still fits and it was resonating with where I'm at right now, so I decided to feature it this week. And our article is called 11 Hints It's Time to Surrender and Take the Path of Least Resistance. Is it time to surrender and go with the flow of your life? Have you ever pushed against life hoping for an easier path only to realize pushing and resisting is actually making life harder? I can relate to falling into this trap throughout my life journey. Most often, this vicious cycle has been the result of attempting to prove myself or to overcompensate for the parts of me I hadn't yet accepted. Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung is noted for saying, "What you resist persists." Understanding the truth and wisdom in Jung's teachings has helped me see I always have a choice in how I receive life and how I dance my dance. We all have the power of choice in life. We can resist what we don't like in the hopes it will go away, or we can accept things the way they are and make space for something new and different to transpire. When we surrender to what is, we allow the magic and beauty of life to unfold. This magical space is where joy lives, where gratitude can be found, and where dreams are born. These 11 hints have become my telltale signs it is time to surrender and take the path of least resistance. These cues help me remember I have a choice in how I experience life. They help me step into the practice of creating space and allowing the magic of my life to unfold. If these hints sound familiar and resonate with you, give the practices a try and see how they fit. Hint number 1, you spend your time wishing life was different instead of embracing how it is. Practice. Create a list on paper or in your mind of 3 things you love about life right now. Allow your 3 truths to become your focus for the next week, day, hour, or minute. Grow your new awareness from this place of love. Release your grip on the story that life is hard and instead breathe into what is working well. Hint number 2, you have increasing expectations of others. Practice. Whenever we expect others to fulfill our sense of happiness, peace, or level of okayness, we are in for a bumpy ride. Of course, the actions of others affect us, but they don't have to get in the way of our joy or how we dance with life. The more we let go of our expectations of other people, the easier it is to accept them however they may show up. When we detach from our expectations, we send the message we are okay with what is. Hint number 3, you find yourself judging others and yourself more and more. Practice. When we focus on the traits we don't like about others, we are really mirroring what it is we don't accept or like about ourselves. When we accept and love ourselves in all our darkness in life, we tend to give the same gift to others around us. What can you do right now to feel good about yourself? Ask yourself what you most need right now and listen to the soft whisper that comes. Hint number 4, you feel like there is always too much to do and not enough time. Practice. Every day we get to wake up is a blessing. Each morning we are gifted an entire day to experience the fullness of life. We write the story for how we spend the moments in our day and how we feel about such moments. I like to remind myself that time is merely an illusion and not having enough of it is a story I can choose to buy into or not. When we make a choice to be present and awake in the moments before us, time has a way of slowing down. When we stop pushing the story of having to be in a hurried pace, we open up time and space to savor what is before us. Hint number 5, you can't remember the last time you did something for yourself. This is the practice. Each of us is in charge of our own personal happiness. When we nurture ourselves on a regular basis, we strengthen our spirit and become more connected to our truth. Nobody can do self-care for us. If we push others to fulfill our happiness, we inflict suffering on ourselves. The easiest path to feeling good about life is to love ourselves first. Hint number 6, you are overly worried about things out of your control. This is the practice. The only control we ever have is in how we choose to dance and be in life. Everything else is like a coin toss. We don't really know what will come next or how things will turn out. There is a real feeling of freedom that comes when we let go of the need to micromanage aspects of life that are not within our control. Breathe into your being and focus on enjoying the moments in your life the best way you know how. Remind yourself, all is well, and all I can do is all I can do, and all I can do is enough. Hint number 7, you are impatient and you want results quicker. This is the practice. When something isn't coming to fruition the way you planned, see what happens when you take a step back and let the chips fall where they may. This is often easier said than done, but try to remember there is a grace period before things come to life. Put your best effort in and then let go. When we meddle with the grace period and start pushing for quicker results, we often change the original outcome. See what happens when you surrender to the process. Instead of obsessing and becoming impatient, go do something that is playful and fun. Fill your moments with laughter, and you may be surprised when your results come to life even better than you first imagined. Hint number 8. You rarely take a minute to breathe and check in with yourself. Practice. We all have a built-in guidance system that will lead us on our best path. The trick is to actually check in with ourselves and hear the wisdom that comes. The next step is important too, and that is to follow through with what our intuition tells us. I don't believe for a second our inner spirit wants us to take the hard path in life, to create more suffering than necessary, or to spend our moments resisting life. When we are disconnected from our truth, we often lead life from our ego. Our ego will misguide us every step of the way. If we want to lead life from peace, we need to regularly connect to ourselves so we learn to hear what our truth sounds like. Hint number 9, you are focused on everything that isn't working well. Practice. This comes back to what we do have control over, our perspective. When we focus on everything that isn't working well in our lives, we lose our next steps and often get stuck in a cycle of suffering. When we shine a light on everything that is working well, we illuminate the path to loving life. When there is a light shining on everything we love about our life, it becomes easier to follow our higher path. This is the path of least resistance. Hint number 10, you have lost your faith in the magic of life. Practice. Sometimes life serves up hardships and it becomes second nature to spiral downward into despair. When we stay there for too long, we can lose our sense of wonder and faith in the magic of life. This is where baby steps become our lifeline. Embarking on a one step at a time, one day at a time approach can be a peaceful way back to our light. This back to basics approach is all about surrendering to the process and releasing the need to control what comes next. There is something profound in rebuilding a foundation. The noise and push-pull of life that was once important begins to fall away. The rebuilding phase and one step at a time approach can bring the most beautiful growth and life experiences. Hint number 11, you forget what it is like to dream. This is the practice. In childhood, it feels natural to walk through life with a sense of awe and thirst for what is. This is a human trait we all can tap back into in order to feel hopeful and excited to be alive. When we choose to have a playful mindset and dare to dream big dreams, we move beyond our perceived limitations. When we let our guard down and play, we step outside the confines that keep us from fully seeing and experiencing the wonder and magic of life. See what happens when you give yourself permission to use your imagination to believe in what may be possible in your life. See what changes when you start looking for the magic and limitless possibilities around you. Use your creative power to get excited about life and to dream new dreams. Navigate your days with a childlike thirst for adventure and excitement about what might possibly come next. Embrace your path of least resistance. So that is this week's featured article, and I invite everyone to click on the link that is below this video to read through this article or to perhaps even print it out. I know I've done that just to keep these reminders close by, because I think we can all get stuck in places where we sometimes just don't even realize it. We can create momentum in our life in a way that we are making life so much harder than it needs to be. And it can be easy to forget that the answers that we need are within us, and that sometimes all we need to do is just to take a step back and to remember that that we do have control over our perspective, and that we can make those baby steps forward to creating momentum in a direction towards what it is that we do want. So just remember, you always have that power within you to focus on what it is that you do want in life, and to move towards that, and to create those steps and momentum towards what does feel good. Because I know in my life, what does feel good is always the path of least resistance, and what doesn't feel good, and when I focus on all the things that are hard or what isn't going well or what I don't like, it doesn't feel good. And the more momentum I create that way, the harder everything gets. So just remember that those can be your easy kind of reminders when life feels hard and things aren't lining up. Just to use that as your cue to take a step back and to just tap into your own inner wisdom, and take a deep breath and regroup and move forward from that space. It works every time. And we all have that power within us. So I just invite you to try this on this week, just to increase your self-awareness around that, and to just have some fun and play with these ideas and principles and see how they fit in your own day and your own life. And as always, I hope that you have the most amazing week, and I look forward to connecting again soon. Thank you.